Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for coming to our Frequency Mamas Community Harmonization Circle today. I'm Robin, just in case anyone watching this video doesn't know me yet. I'm Robin. I'm co-founder of the Frequency Mama community, and I'm so grateful that you are all here live with us today or watching this recording. These harmonization circles are open to the public and intended to give you a glimpse into our amazing community, as well as give you a glimpse into the powerful light and modalities that our Frequency Mama community members hold. These circles are also a gift for you to receive, to take an hour-ish out of your day to receive support, harmonization, healing, and nervous system resets from all kinds of amazing practitioners in our community who want to share their light with you. During today's harmonization circle, we will be using energy medicine infused with intuitive movement, guided by our lovely Becca Campbell. Becca is a life coach and an energy healer using a blend of intuitive movement, ancient wisdom, and modern frequency technology to support others on their healing journeys. She's also the host of the Whole Vibe podcast and collective. Welcome, Becca. We're so grateful to receive from you today.
Hello, thank you so much for that lovely introduction and for the invitation to be here. I'm so grateful and really excited. And whether you're here live with us today or on the replay, I'm equally excited to be with you. I am so looking forward to this, and I definitely love hearing from you. So again, whether you're live here or on the replay, once you've had the opportunity to receive this, if you feel the call to let me know how it was for you, I would just adore that. So inviting you to connect in any way that feels good. But yeah, I thank you again for that introduction. And I am Becca Campbell. I am currently living in Southern Alberta, Canada. My husband and I are actually both from Prince Edward Island, Canada, and we're getting ready to head back there for the summer, which we've been doing for a few years now. So I'm really looking forward to that. Alberta's great, but my heart is really at the ocean. So anyways, I'm really looking forward to it. And that said, one of the things that I love to bring through into our practice is our connection to nature. I really deeply connect to nature and shamanic practice, and the idea that we're here to live in right relationship with ourselves, each other, and our planet. And I really so wholeheartedly believe that this begins with our ability to be really present with ourselves, and as well to be open to receiving everything that is here for us, in particular through that practice of presence. And today we're going to be doing a movement practice infused with energy healing. We're going to be working with our energy, in particular through our intention and through our healing hands and through beautiful movement practice. And then we're going to overlay the whole experience with our Healy frequencies. So if you're here, you're familiar with Healy frequencies. I probably don't need to go into too much detail around that. I will tune us in and scan the group in a moment. But just a couple more fun facts about me, just so you kind of know where I'm coming from with all of this. I am a mom of 3 boys, super busy, energetic, very fun little boys that keep me hopping. And I definitely, as I'm sure so many of us do, have experienced that challenge that comes with creating space for ourselves and our self-care. And what I'm bringing through here today, I really invite you, as I do with the people that come to practice this with me in person, to ideally take away a nugget that you can incorporate into your day. You do not need to do, obviously, an hour-long practice, right? We know that we don't always have the time or space for that, but we can certainly take snippets of these things that we learn. In particular, what I like to call these kind of like micro self-care practices, where we can fit them in like a minute to 5 minutes a day. And so, yeah, that some of the breath work that we're going to be doing, or the pranayama that we're going to be doing, it's not super deep breathwork practice. Like I know you guys have maybe experienced with stuff already, but some of these like little things that we can just, again, bring into our day-to-day, even when you're like sitting in your car waiting for your kids, or you've got like a couple of minutes while maybe they're watching TV to like just stretch it out and get in your body. I really feel like the call right now is for us to get back in our bodies, right? Like a lot of us have been doing a lot of energy work, a lot of spiritual connection work. And I definitely have kind of gone this full circle where I started like 15 years ago in personal training and fitness instruction, and quickly saw a disconnect with my clients where there was like, I knew there was like a mental and emotional piece going on, but I didn't really know how to help them with it because I was struggling with a lot of my own stuff. And found my way to yoga teacher training and started teaching meditation and mindfulness, and then found my way to Reiki and really got into the energy work for a long time and kind of let go of like taking care of my body because the energy work was doing so much for me. But then realized that I was not like very grounded. I was not grounded. I was really struggling to relate and cope with everyday life. And so this movement practice that I'm sharing today is what's really helped me get back in my body, anchor my soul here in the present moment, move through a lot of resistance in showing up and doing the things that I'm being called to do. I feel like a lot of us right now are like, yeah, I'm so guided and inspired, and I want to like be of the highest service and share and develop my gifts. And again, life can kind of get in the way, but a lot of the time that becomes our kind of, I don't want to use the word excuse, but it kind of is like, it's our ego kind of being like, oh, okay, well, you're too busy and you don't have the space and this and that. And this is about helping us like create that space and step out of that story and back into the truth of who we are. Yes, we came here to be a human. We're here to do all of this human stuff. But we get to do it from this much more connected, grounded, and open-hearted space that really is going to not just deeply serve us, of course, but everybody around us. So my intention here is to hold this space for you to come connect with yourself, really notice what's going on in your body, notice what's going on in your mind, maybe even notice what's going on in your emotions. This does create, when we start to move and we start to breathe in this way, and as you maybe have already experienced in your own practice, it can bring up emotional stuff. The stuff that we tend to like kind of push down and ignore, which we know if we're here tends to cause a lot of our dis-ease and our disharmony that we're experiencing in our lives. So I just really invite you, if you have that experience, to welcome that as next level. Because when you can allow that energy, the emotion, the energy and motion to move, you are clearing so much more space for what you desire to experience to come in, right? So I hope that makes sense. Let me know, again, whether you're live or on the replay, let me know if that makes sense. And we will be here about an hour together. If I may happen to go a little bit longer, I apologize. I kind of get in the zone. I don't necessarily super plan out the practice. I have like a foundation to it, but I don't plan it like move by move. So sometimes it can go like a little bit longer. So if you happen to have to hop off and come back to catch the final meditation, which will be about the last 15 minutes, that is totally fine. We know that life is life, and I certainly can appreciate that. So yeah. In addition to my 3 kids, I've got a dog that's snoring beside me. You may or may not be able to hear her. Her name is Bella, and a cat that decided that it was our cat a few years ago and has never left. His name is Tommy. He probably won't be in today, but yeah. And other than that, like I said, living here in Southern Alberta, let me know if you happen to be in my neck of the woods. I would love to connect with you in person as well, or if you happen to be on the East Coast. I love making those new connections. So inviting you, and this is an invitation. Everything about this is an invitation. Okay, if anything that I say does not resonate, leave it. Take what works for you, leave what doesn't. That includes the movement practice. I do invite you to explore your edges and explore your comfort zones, expanding your comfort zones. Because sometimes, of course, we can kind of like back off or shy away from that. But at the same time, I want you to be really mindful of what feels safe and right for your body. I have held off on teaching online yoga for a really long time because I was very afraid of somebody hurting themselves because I could not see them. So please be mindful. Please use the breath. The breath is our guiding and activating tool. We know it's a healing tool. I'll be like prompting you a lot to use your breath to move deeper into your body. But again, like this is your practice. This is your time. If for any reason you're like, hey, I just want to like lay on the floor now and listen to this playlist in your voice, or maybe not even my voice, whatever, like you've carved out this time for yourself, use it to whatever degree feels good for you and however feels good for you. All right. So Again, that playlist is in the chat if you do want some background music, or if you have any other kind of just nice, calming, soothing music you'd like to play for yourself, please feel free. Bella's snoring so loudly. Can you guys hear her? Okay. Not that that's not like enchanting and everything, but
That's
all right.
one thing about Zoom is like, it's really good at drowning out those background noises. Like I always think people can hear the TV or my kids, or Atlas likes to dump the Legos out right next to me and everybody's like, I can't hear it. So at least good sound quality on that.
Sure. Okay.
I
I
wanted to mention on the recording, for everyone who's watching this on the recording, that playlist is in the notes where the timestamps are underneath this. You can click on the playlist that Becca gave us to listen to.
Thank you. So in my in-person classes, we always pull cards. I let everyone pull their own card, but obviously we can't really do that right now, but I'd love to pull a message for our group. And today I was invited to use the Nature's Whispers Oracle. I don't know if you guys have seen this one, but it's really beautiful artwork, really nice, simple messages. And like I mentioned, I really connect with nature. Like one of my main healing practices is just going and sitting in like we don't have a lot of trees in Alberta, or in the prairies, not in Alberta, in the prairies. But there is a beautiful green space in my town where I like to just go sit and like receive. And so, yeah, anyway, oh, that's it. Okay. So the card is Shift Your Energy. And it's like, you see me shaking. I'm obviously a little bit nervous. I've only had one little cup of coffee. Shift your energy. And I feel like it's a reminder that this is the theme of what we're doing here, right? We are shifting out anything old, stuck and stagnant in our energy field, in our bodies, that is no longer serving where we're going. And we are inviting in new, fresh energy. In particular, the Healy frequencies are supporting us in this process, as well as our breath and our body. I love the Healy so much, so much. It's such a powerful tool, as we know. But I often think, but what if there was no way to charge our Healy? What if there was no way to like connect with it, right? Like, I really think it's important to remember that like we self-source healing. That is how we're designed. And Healy is just an amplification tool. So I just like to remind us of that we are so powerful and we have the power. We have the ability to shift our energy at any time. Sometimes it can feel like it takes a little while, but we absolutely can. Okay, so I'll just invite you as I can get us set up. I do have us set up already as a group under Frequency Mamas. I just used your logo to set us up on the Healy Advisor, or so the Healy Analysis app. So that I've got situated. But as we tune in, I just would love to invite you all individually to close down your eyes if that's comfortable and possible for you right now. And just begin to tune into your breath, to feel the flow of those inhales and exhales moving through your body. And to remember your breath as a bridging connection between the physical and non-physical realm, between your human self and your soul and spirit, and of course, just source energy, source universe, God, creator, whatever you're resonating with. Just know that that breath is that. It is that moving through your body. It is sustaining and supporting you at all times. And just seeing yourself through that connection as you begin to envision yourself as a pillar of light that is connected through to the heavens and down deep into the earth. So as you breathe on your next exhale, see if you can imagine sending deep, wide roots of energetic connection all the way through all the layers of beautiful Gaia, right to her very core. Planting yourself here like anything that grows in nature. And perhaps beginning to see yourself as a strong tree. I actually have this tree picture in the background. Your eyes are closed right now, but if you did want to open your eyes and look at it, you totally could. It's a silvery tree. So I always use that as well as a little bit of imagery. But just breathing and feeling your unique version of this connection and drinking that sustaining, supportive, nurturing, nourishing energy of the earth back up through your roots and into your body. And feeling it flow up your body, up through the feet and legs and hips, through the belly and low back and ribs, and all the way up into the heart and upper back. And as it comes into the heart, just feeling it gently flowing down the arms into your hands, activating your healing hands. And as it moves up your throat and into all sides of the head and face and all the way up to the crown, feel the crown of your head begin to open like a flower, or even like actually a crown. The way a crown is structured, think about the way that opens and invites the light of the divine source, God, creator energy to flow down through you. And as you breathe in, you allow this energy to move down. Even with your exhales, you're sending it down all the way down through your body and down deep, deep, deep through those roots into the earth. And so just seeing through your unique pillar of light now, you are firmly, solidly connected to the energies of heaven and earth, and they can move freely through you. And through this connection as well, we can begin to connect to the quantum field, of course, to the Healy frequencies. And I love to invite the invitation to see the Healy frequencies as this beautiful ball of light. Recently, it's kind of come to me as how the sun, when it's a glowing ball of orange and it's a cloudy day and it descends through the clouds, you can see that little dip of the sun coming down. And maybe there's a little bit of a clearing between the earth and the clouds, and it's just so slowly descending down, and you can see it and you can feel it. And you can just go ahead and tune your heart right into it, sending a stream of energy out of your heart, or if it feels better to send it through your crown, that's fine as well. But seeing that connection, solidifying that connection. And we're just going to take a moment to scan here. We're going to record the aura of the group. So inviting you to just set your intention on the question of what it is that our group, the Frequency Mama Collective, is ready to receive now, or needs the most of right now, or is in the deepest resonance of right now. Whatever verbiage makes the most sense to your heart, or feel free to make up your own. But whatever it is that's going to be of the highest service that we can bring through to overlay this practice, we can be open to receive, and just breathing into your heart, opening your heart and holding that intention, as I will as well. What frequencies will serve us the most right now? And to determine this today, we're going to do an aura scan. Just taking nice deep breaths through your connection, through your pillar of light. And I'm going to screenshot this and I will send it to our group afterwards. I can also, so interesting, right now, the heart is very high in the group, very high, like 97. Solar plexus is at 100. That seems crazy, but we're going to roll with it. Okay. And just like with that theme, like let's roll with that, like that sense of empowerment of like knowing how deeply connected we are and how easy it really is for us to tune in and receive and tap into that innate power that we all have. I love that. I love how open our hearts are. Our root is really strong right now at 91. And then we've got crown, forehead, throat, and sacral are kind of between 69 and 78. So a little bit lower, but overall, not too shabby. Not too shabby at all. So what I'm going to do, so I'm not spending a whole lot of time on this, is I'm just going to go ahead and run this. And then I will actually go back and send a video to our group after, a screen share video of just what came up. And so you guys can explore that for yourselves. And I'm going to run this for, I'll come back here. Here we go. Sorry, I gotta do it again. It kicked me out. Just keep breathing into your beautiful pillars of light, friends. Okay, we won't mess with that too much more. All right. Beautiful. Thank you for helping me with that. All right. So if you have a yoga mat handy, we're going to make a move there. If you're just working on a patch of floor, that's totally fine as well. We're just going to move there and we'll reconnect to our grounding connection of those roots growing deep into the earth. And just bringing the palms together at the heart. And tuning into the heart again. Feel that beautiful flow of energy through the heart, down the arms and into the hands. And see if you can imagine we're receiving energy through the left and we're giving energy through the right. So just linking up to that flow, that circuit of energy moving through the arms and hands from the heart. And then when you feel ready, you're going to just reach the arms up to the sky, fingertips to the sky, open the fingers and just bring them to the back of the head. So bringing the elbows nice and wide. And so we're just going to work through some alignment. Okay, so we're looking for optimal energy flow in the body. We want that beautiful alignment. So of course, we spend a lot of time kind of forward folded in life. So here's where we're opening up. If the shoulders didn't like this at all, you could kind of come wide here as well. But if you can place those fingers behind the head, you're just going to take a big inhale. Feel how you naturally grow taller on the inhale. And then as you exhale, just gently pull the low belly into support and press the head into the fingers. You're just drawing the head straight back, guiding it into a beautiful alignment with the rest of the spine. And then release the fingertips and begin to draw the shoulder blades down the back as the elbows come out, down and around. I call this putting on your wings, putting on your angel wings, your fairy wings, whatever you want to resonate with, but putting on your wings of power that also supports the back of the heart. They help to open the heart up. Okay, so we're just going to float the fingertips down to the floor, keeping that nice, tall, lifted posture. And like I mentioned, I really invite you to start implementing some of these little micro practices into your life, including this little spinal flow we're going to begin. And this is so easy, right? Inhale the fingertips up, settle the shoulder down the back, and then we'll just walk the opposite fingers out, and any side here works to start. We're just taking a beautiful side bend, allowing the inhale to naturally float us up a little bit, and the exhale, we're just using that space we created. Taking nice deep breaths to guide the movement. And remembering that as we breathe in, we can draw towards us. Let's take a big inhale up to center and exhale to the other side. As we breathe in, we can draw towards us exactly what we need. And as we breathe out, we can release anything we do not. So I love just connecting to that energy of our pillar of light as we move through the practice. And to that intention of releasing to receive. Move all the way back up. We're going to take a little twist here. So breathe in, take a nice big inhale to grow tall, and then exhale, twisting, opposite hand to knee, lifting and opening the heart, and just gently wringing out along the spine. And really, again, using the breath, grow tall on the inhale, deepen on the exhale, taking about 3 breaths here. And using your inhale to guide you back to center. I'm 5'2", you guys. I'm pretty sure that if I breathe and grow enough, I'm going to become 5'2.5". So that's my goal. There's anything wrong with 5'2", but I really think that we can actually get a little taller and longer and more spacious if we use the breath and movement. Just allowing yourself to flow with this as we come back to center, using that inhale to arrive, and then just placing the hands, palms down on the knees. We're just taking a seated cat-cow. So breathe in, lift the heart, and then as you breathe out, pull the belly in, rounding the spine. And then as you inhale, I like to kind of flip my palms a little, so I'm almost kind of grabbing onto my knees, and then drawing the heart forward, shoulder blades come down and back. And we just really gently open the heart, maybe look up if that feels okay for the neck. And then exhaling to round, and really exaggerating, rounding those shoulders forward to pull the shoulder blades apart, and then inhaling to open. And just inviting you to pause anywhere throughout these movements that feel like they need a little extra time, or any spaces that need a little extra love. And really beginning to breathe into wherever you're coming up against resistance in the body, which is inevitable. We've all got tension in our body, right? And arriving back at center, growing nice and tall. Just settling in here again. So maybe we feel a little bit more loose. So maybe we feel a little bit more in our body. And we're just going to practice a conscious connected breath from here, where as we inhale, we're going to think about, through those beautiful deep wide roots of connection, gently pulling that pelvic floor in and up. So pulling up through the root chakra and then up into the sacral. And this is tricky to do all at once, especially if it's your first time. So just like go slow with this. But what I want you to imagine, or I invite you to imagine, is that you're drinking the energy all the way up on your inhale, as high as you can get it, just like you're drawing it up through a straw. And then as you exhale, you're just going to allow that energy to wash back down and into the earth. So a little bit like we're flushing the chakras, if that makes sense. We're flushing out those main energy centers. So taking a nice big breath in, just begin to connect, just gently draw that pelvic floor in and up, and imagine you can pull it up as high as you can on the inhale. Don't worry if you don't get all the way to the top, that's totally fine. And then as you exhale, maybe even letting out an audible sigh, and just letting it all flow back down. Taking 3 more of these. Inhale, feel that low belly draw in and up into the solar plexus. Feel yourself pull that energy up into the heart, throat, third eye, and crown, and then exhale, just allowing it to flow back down. This is a beautiful, simple practice to do anytime, anywhere, friends. Breathing in and up, and then releasing through those audible exhales, just allowing any tension to leave the body. Let's take 1 more. Nice deep inhale. And exhaling, letting go. Beautiful. Okay, friends, inviting you to come to hands and knees here. We're just going to take a child's pose. And I didn't ask, but please let me know if you do practice yoga, if you've got any favorite yoga poses. I have found that child's pose is a go-to for me, especially at bedtime. I really highly recommend it at bedtime. And again, like saying these things so that you maybe are prompted to remember if you're feeling maybe a little bit anxious, or like you need to just calm down the nervous system. The child's pose is a beautiful place to do that. So our knees are wide, our toes are together, and we're sending the hips towards the heels. And then just lowering the forehead down to the floor, arms are reaching out in front. And I invite you here today to take your elbows nice and wide so that you've got lots of space to actually kind of like shake the upper body a little bit from side to side. And you'll notice that this will actually also roll out your third eye on the ground. So we're just stimulating that energy center a little bit. Taking some nice deep breaths here. Really feeling the whole body connecting to the earth. And as you breathe, we're going to take 2 more nice deep breaths, really filling up the body, filling up the belly, the side ribs and back, all the way up into the heart. Filling up with that beautiful life force energy, pure unconditional love, feeling it move through all of your cells, and then breathing out fully. Sinking into the ground, just letting go of anything stale or stagnant. You can imagine that you can just surrender any of that energy to the earth, just like
nature surrenders, leaves, and all that plant life goes to become fertilizer for new growth. On your next inhale, we'll just float up to hands and knees. And we did a bit of spinal work already, but we are going to move through some cat-cow. Spreading the fingers nice and wide here is really important to take care of the wrists and shoulders. So spread those hands, spread those fingers out. Wrists are right underneath the shoulders. And as you breathe in, feel your spine grow long from your crown to your tail. And then as you exhale, pull the belly in and round. So same action we just practiced seated. A lot of you have probably practiced this before. And then on your inhale, drawing the shoulder blades down and the heart forward, crown and tail lift. And just inviting you to really explore this. Explore where there's little areas that might feel a little bit sticky. And know that these types of spinal flows are really beautiful for moving stagnancy out of the body. If you're feeling stuck or just kind of uninspired or unable to move forward, and maybe in some procrastination, a spinal flow like this can be really, really helpful. Just shifting energy through the midline of the body and creating that space for energy to flow more easily. When you finish your next round, just coming back to center. And we're just going to take a little side bend here. So keeping the low belly connected, I like to think about a line of energy moving up the front of the body and down the back to help with that. We're just going to swish the crown of the head and the tail over to one side. You can kind of look back if that feels okay for the neck. Maybe look back towards that hip. And then inhale to center and exhale to the other side. And just moving with your natural breath flow. But attaching breath to movement is really important, right? We want to be real mindful of how the neck is feeling, how the body is feeling in general. We're going to take one more on each side. Keep connecting through that low belly, connecting through the root and sacral and solar plexus. And as you inhale, coming back to center, we're going to tuck the toes here, tucking toes if they're not already tucked, and take a little hover in our tabletop position. So again, zip up through the front, send the energy down your back, and then on your next exhale, connect the belly as you push into your hands to lift and hover the knees. So this is a hovering tabletop. It should feel like a little bit of a challenge here. You can play with this a little bit, see if you can sit your hips back, and then just shift the weight forward just until the shoulders are over the hip, or shoulders are over the wrists. Take a little inhale back, exhale forward, or whatever breath flow feels most natural to you. And then the next time you send your hips back, you're going to send them up too. So we're going to come to downward dog. We're sending the hips back, and then we're sending them up towards the side. And inviting you in your downward dog to pedal out the feet. And I've really been enjoying going really deep with those knee bends and actually drawing some nice infinity circles with the hips. Infinity circles, infinity symbols, circles, whatever. Circling the hips actually ends up drawing a really beautiful infinity symbol, right? So pressing really strongly through and evenly through all those fingers and thumbs as you draw the energy of the earth up through the hands, up into the arms, into the shoulders, and into the heart. Same thing, feel those feet connecting. Stay with the breath. And then on your next inhale, take a look towards your hands and walk your feet there. Take as many steps as you need to get there. Plant the feet hip width apart and take a forward bend here with bent knees. So allow the knees to be bent enough that the upper body can almost or totally rest on the thighs. And then release the hands from the floor and grab what we call ragdoll arms. So that's opposite elbows here. And give the head a nice gentle shake. So I like to think about a forward bend here, especially at this stage in practice, as a beautiful opportunity to brain dump, to dump out anything from the mind that is not really necessary as we move through the practice. So I like to give my head a shake, yes and no, maybe so, kind of looks like some circles in either direction. And the upper body as well could sway from side to side. And we're also, of course, directing some beautiful blood flow to the brain here. And then releasing the hands to the ground. Really press the hands into the earth. And as we come up, we're going to pull the low belly in and sit those hips back. And come up with a big inhale with the palms facing the ground. Imagine you can bring the energy of the earth up the front of the body, well, up the body in general, but think about pulling up the front of the body, and then send it over the head and down the back. And I'm just going to turn to face you here, but you're fine wherever you are, positionally on your mat. So here we are, we're standing now, we've got our beautiful angel wings on. Connect in with what's going on in the pelvis, right? So feel that low belly kind of pull in and up, and the pelvis at the back, the tailbone is just gently pulled down by the gravity of the gravity that's here on earth. So feeling that, seeing and feeling that line of energy, I like to really prompt that and encourage that, tune in. And dropping the arms down by the side, you'll find yourself in a beautiful lifted mountain pose, right? And just closing your eyes in your mountain pose and tuning in to what's going on in the feet. So notice if you are kind of moving into the toes more or into the heels more, or if you feel pretty even, it's all good. If we're pitched into the toes a little bit more, it usually means we're kind of pushing. Maybe we need to kind of just settle in and not try to control things so much. If we're in the heels, sometimes that means we're kind of like holding back. That can be more of that procrastination energy. So just noticing and then breathing your way back into beautiful balance. And then on your next inhale, taking the arms up, connecting the palms. It's in my hands, but that's okay. Get the gist. Connecting the palms, interlock the fingers and release the index to point towards the sky. And step the feet a little closer together if that feels good for a crescent moon pose. So standing side stretch here. Inhale, reach, feel that bounce back of energy from the feet to the fingers. And then exhale, come on over to one side. And we're just going to flow from side to side here. So use your inhale, come up to center, and exhale to the other side. And see if every time you come up, again, you can grow a little taller and longer. Pressing the feet into the earth, sending your roots even deeper and wider. Reaching those fingers to the sky, inviting even more of that beautiful flow of source energy in. Breathing it through the body as you move and just feeling the sensations that you're coming up against here, right? When we stretch, we find our edges and we get to breathe into them. We get to be present with them. And when we can notice what's going on in the mind, we can start to become more present with it as well. Okay, coming back up to center and then bringing the hands down to the heart. Step the feet back to hip width if they're not already. And here we're just going to take another little breath practice. It's a cleansing breath practice. So as your hands come past your heart, you're going to interlock your fingers and exhale through your mouth. Big audible pass sound, exhale, sending any energy that is no longer serving you down into the earth. Inhale, breathe in, receive, and then exhale, press the palms together again. Nice, loud, audible exhale as we interlock the fingers as they cross the heart and send that energy down. Inhale. Strengthen the legs, reach up. Exhale. Releasing, surrendering anything that's ready to be recycled. One more time, inhale. And exhale. And of course, inviting the healing frequencies in to support us as is best for us and our unique experience at this time through this process as well. So just releasing the hand and coming to a slightly wider than hip width stance. So what we're going to do now is clear our energy field with our healing hands. This is a practice that I have been doing daily, and I find it makes such a huge difference. So I certainly invite you to make it your own. But to begin, we're going to start by rubbing the hands together. So if you practice any kind of like hands-on healing or Reiki or any kind of energy healing that utilizes the hands, you're familiar with the power of our healing hands.
So once you've got some friction created there, we're gonna just see if we can feel that energy between the hands, because that's fun. Sometimes it's nice to play and create a ball of energy and play with that. But for today, we'll feel that energy between our hands. And what we're going to do, and just a little pause here, just in case anyone's just kind of catching up with the fact that we are these energetic beings and we have this energy field that expands out and around us called our aura, right? And a lot of the time, like the energy of others in our experience can kind of become tangled up in our aura. So what we're doing here is we're going to take a little sit back with the hips. We can bring as much of like a squat into this and make it as physical for the lower body as we want. But we're just scooping up energy from our energy field. This is our inhale. And we're bringing it all the way up. And then we're taking a nice big exhale. And the exhale, we're releasing energy up or down that we do not need anymore. We're inhaling to receive the light of source through our hands and through our whole body, of course. And then we're exhaling and we're painting our energy field with that frequency. Okay, so inhale, exhale, release, keep the low belly connected. Inhale, receive, exhale, bring that energy down through your field. And just working your way around your body as best you can. Obviously, the back is a little tricky, but intention works, right? And just seeing that we can, as we release what's heavy, stagnant, and no longer need it, we can create the space to then receive and consciously bring that energy down into our unique energy field. We're all so unique, right? So just seeing how this can strengthen your pillar of light. I like to get kind of fancy with my fingers sometimes. You can kind of draw these different patterns in your energy field, but the breath is really important. So it's the inhale. It's like we're literally lifting something heavy up. Exhale, release it. Feel yourself get lighter. Inhale, receive, and then exhale to bring it down. Beautiful. So that's the first piece. And then the second piece, I'm just going to invite you to come a little bit wider. And we're going to fill up even more and more intentionally now. So as we'll just sit the hips down a little bit to begin, and we're going to gather energy. I like to imagine myself literally gathering sun rays, because I do believe sun is representing our source energy here. And then as you exhale, bring it down the midline of the body now and see that you can imagine flowing it down through all of your energy centers. So inhale, gather that light, and then exhale, bring it down. And then I kind of like to draw little roots. That feels fun. But again, like make this your own, right? And as for like number of repetitions, if you're doing this on your own, it's really intuitive. It's really about how does it feel for you. Sometimes it just feels really good and you just want to kind of keep going and going and going, right? But or if you find like, oh, I'm not really feeling this, maybe you can get yourself to do a couple more rounds. We'll do 2 more here. And what we're doing here is we're really filling up even more of that space that we've perhaps been able to clear so far. And, or as we bring more light in, we start to shift more density out, right? Okay, so coming up and around one more time, and then we're going to pause at the bottom and we're reversing this. So that was us bringing source down. Now we're bringing the energy of earth up. So strengthening the legs to help actively draw that energy up and up through the pelvic floor, like that conscious connective breath we practiced, and then let it flow back down the body. Okay, so nice big inhale, and then exhale, just like there's this waterfall of this beautiful earth energy moving down through us as we also actively draw it up. And so throughout our practice and the practice that I typically teach, we incorporate these movements to bring even more clearing and activation into the practice. So one more time. So that was our third piece. So we cleared, we sourced, and we grounded. And now we're going to put on a little protection if you feel like it. So I like to put on a big cloak, zip it up. Then sometimes I'll put on a hood and I'll tie it up, but it doesn't have to be that fancy. Just kind of like in any kind of vision where you're putting on some protection, and it's not protection because you're in danger, right? It's just protection because we know there's a lot of energy out there and we want to keep our channel as clear as possible because that's going to ultimately serve us in all the ways. Okay, so again, let that be an intuitive practice. And then finally, I like to finish with like a big star pose because now in my protection, I'm also making my energy really big. Really, really big. A lot of the time we're holding back. We're not really saying what we want to say. We're not really doing what we want to do. We feel like we have to put everybody first, and it causes us to feel very contracted. So I want you to really think about expanding your energy, opening yourself up to what you are ready to receive. Lovely. And then we're just going to like move it around. So just shifting your weight from side to side, maybe drawing big infinity patterns. Maybe you bust into like some kind of dance that feels really good for you. But just see and feel what it is like to just let your body move freely in a way that perhaps you don't do every day. In a challenge right now, and my commitment for myself for the challenge is to dance every day for 10 minutes. And I haven't found a practice, honestly, that besides, well, there's a lot of them, but that brings more joy into my life than like just giving her to some good tunes. So just letting that energy move through you. And then coming back when you feel ready to that big, beautiful star. And here we're going to move into a warrior two stance. So pick a set of toes, any toes, and just turn them towards the short edge of your mat if you're on a mat, or pointing in one direction if you're not. And your other foot, you're going to have a nice wide stance here. So if you feel you need to go wider, go ahead. Your other foot is perpendicular to your mat, and your heel to heel or heel to arch, whatever feels good. Take the hands to the hips first. See that your hips are nice and level, and then just begin to bend into that front knee. See that it's tracking with the toes. I just want to make sure everyone's real safe with the knees here. And that back leg is straight and strong. So if you were something planted in the earth like a strong tree, what would that feel like, right? Like how strong, how much strength and stability can you bring to this pose? Really feel into the legs. Feel that energy, that conscious connected breath. Breathe in and feel it rise up to the crown of the head. Let's put on our angel wings. So you've got those shoulder blades securely supporting the heart, and then reach the arms out, squeezing the fingertips together. So traditional warrior two pose, probably have practiced this. How does it feel today? Do you feel strong and stable and capable? Does it feel hard, or maybe not yet? I tend to do a lot of really long standing holds. I won't do super long ones today, but it helps us really ground, right? It helps us get into the sensation of the body and really activate the legs here. So imagine you can almost pull the feet towards each other as you pull that energy in and up through the midline. And then we're going to dance our warrior a little bit here. So we're going to take an inhale, flip that front palm to the sky, and then take it up and over. So we're coming into a peaceful warrior. Take a couple of breaths here as you breathe in. See if you can get a little longer in the spine. As you breathe out, get a little stronger in the legs. And then take your inhale to return to center and take it over here into an extended side angle pose. So we're just resting that forearm lightly in the thigh, reaching overhead, and we get a nice long line of energy from the back foot to the fingertips. Okay, so from here, we're going to go breath for breath and just dance our warrior. So we're taking it up on an inhale and over on an exhale. Legs stay strong. Up on an inhale and over on an exhale. I'm going to go 3 more times. Make this your own. Let it be fun and flowy, but also be reminded of how much strength you get to practice within that, right? Sometimes it feels like we have to be really in our masculine. We have to be like always doing the things and always pushing forward. And sometimes it feels like we want to just like hang out in our feminine and just like rest and receive and create. But I feel like most of the time we tend to feel like we have to prove our worthiness by doing. And this is where we get to find that balance. That we know that there's nothing to prove, that we get to just be. And we get to be both. We're designed to be both. We're designed to ebb and flow from one to the other. Let's come all the way up. I was talking and not counting, so we'll go one more time here. I think this is it. Let's stay as we come up.
We're going to turn the feet again so that they're just toes pointing out just slightly. And we're just going to take one more of those nice dancey, flowy movements through here, drawing the shoulder blades back. Open the heart. Maybe you reach a little bit further forward. Maybe you're getting down to the earth a little bit more, but this is just a fun way to shake things off a little bit, right? I'd love to hear from you if this is something you normally do and how this feels. Okay, so we'll come back to center, find your center again, and we'll set up for the other side. So turn the toes, the other foot, set yourself up. I always like to cue that hip awareness, because the pelvic awareness obviously is really important in general, especially when we're working on those lower energy centers. But we tend to do this thing, tip our hips here. So we want to see that they're nice and level, bending into that front knee. And then again, draw that energy up, really feel it, pull it up through the legs and up through the midline, send it down the back, anchor the tailbone, put on your angel wings, feel that beautiful connection at the back of the heart, and then reach the fingers out from there and really feel that energy of the heart expanding out through the arms into the hands and fingers. And traditionally in warrior, we look over that front hand, which I didn't cue on the other side, but traditionally that's where we're at. And I also love to really anchor in any intentions I have for myself in warrior too. So finding your strength and stability in the legs. As you inhale, flipping that palm to the sky. And taking an exhale and then an inhale, come on up and over. We're holding the first one here for a few breaths. And I did mean to have you tune into a specific intention there at the beginning, but that's okay. Just any awareness, friends, around what we are ready to release. Let's inhale, come back up to center. And what to receive, unless we're consciously kind of working with that and we've spent a little time working with that, sometimes we're not sure, and that's okay. But sometimes it's just a feeling, right? You want to feel more at peace. You want to feel more at ease. You want to feel more empowered and loving and patient, right? You want to feel less stressed, less overwhelmed, less frustrated, less busy maybe. Let's take an inhale, come up, and we'll dance this. So it's an inhale here and an exhale over. Inhale, rise up. Growing taller every time, growing stronger every time. Every breath allows us this opportunity for this adjustment, right? This kind of fresh start. And so if we are feeling stressed, can we begin to breathe in more peace? If we are feeling lonely, can we begin to breathe in more connection? If we are feeling frustrated, can we begin to breathe in more patience and love? One more time, up and over, or wherever you're at with your pace is fine. Just finishing this cycle and arriving back at center. And we'll turn the feet again so that the toes are pointing out slightly, and we're just coming into a goddess squat here. So let's reach the fingertips to the sky, palms are forward, and then draw those elbows out, down and around really strongly now. So we've got our angel wings on, but we're amped up, really squeezing into those shoulder blades, really allowing that pelvis the tailbone in particular, to be heavy to the earth and just sinking down. And the legs at this point should be feeling something, right? And feeling the sensation in the legs really helps us to be grounded when we can be with that sensation, when we're not running away from it, right? The sensation in the body helps us to be in the body if we can be present with it and just breathe into any resistance, right? Okay, so let's straighten the legs. Legs are pretty much done for now. Reach the fingertips to the sky. Turn the heels out now and take the hands back down to the hips for a forward bend. And we're just going to tip the pelvis forward, soften the knees, leading with the heart. Coming down nice and slow and being moved by the breath. Inhales, lengthening, exhales, just folding, tipping the tail now towards the sky. And coming to allow the head to be heavy and the hands rest on the ground. And if this was a challenge to get the fingertips to the earth, you could bend the knees more or bring the feet a little bit wider. And so I'm inviting you into a couple of ways to explore here, maybe walking the hands back between the feet. Maybe you're going to lift the hands up off the ground and reach them between the legs, which has been a favorite of mine lately for some reason. I'm not sure why, but it just feels really good. And you're just breathing here wherever you find yourself landing. And letting the head in particular be very heavy, right? Maybe shaking out the shoulders a little bit. Just releasing tension in the jaw, loosening up the jaw. That yes, no, maybe so of the head can be really nice. And then on your next inhale, as we feel ready, we'll rise up to fingertips, and we're just taking a little twist here. So keeping one set of fingertips on the ground, and as you exhale, draw the low belly in and windmill the top arm to the sky. So again, if this did not feel awesome for the shoulder for any reason, you could bend the elbow to some degree. Maybe you'll just place the hand on the hip and just spin the shoulder. But we're just coming into a little gentle twist here. You may even feel called to place the hands on the low back. Staying with the breath. And then let your inhale guide you back to center and exhale over to the other side. And just really feeling into the legs here as well. The legs are supporting and anchoring you. Feel those feet connected to the earth. Feel those wide, strong roots growing. Inhale, come back to center, fold forward one more time. Bring the arms, the hands a little wider if you like, and again, shake the shoulders, alternating, rolling one shoulder back and down, and then maybe switch directions. We're rolling the shoulders forward, then rolling the shoulders back. Now on your next inhale, come to stillness as you lift and grow the spine nice and long. And take the hands to the hips, soften the knees and inhale to come up all the way. And then heel toe, feet together, and come to standing. Okay, it's just coming back to a mountain pose for a minute, perhaps bringing hands to prayer, maybe hand on heart, hand on belly. Wherever you are, come back and just assess and just see if you might feel a little bit grounded. I know I feel way more grounded right now. I can really feel my feet on the ground so much more easily and strongly. I can feel my legs. They feel strong and activated. I can feel my body so much more easily. And this is kind of the point, right? This is about getting in our body through the breath, through movement, and really anchoring our soul here and now. All right, so now we're going to just go a little bit deeper with that grounding, and we're going to practice tree pose. So very familiar pose. And again, you probably noticed all of this is very familiar. If you've practiced any yoga or even seen yoga poses, you've seen a lot of this stuff, practice this stuff. It's so easy to bring just little bits of it into our day. It can be so beautifully helpful, and inviting our children into it if that's a thing. We've got those kiddos as well. So tree pose, pick a leg, any leg to start on. Notice what leg you automatically go to. And if you want to just kind of like get out of the box a little bit, your own box a little bit, you can notice what leg you want to do first, and then maybe choose to do the other one first instead. Obviously, we usually have a little bit of difference to a lot of difference in which one's going to feel easier. We're just planting that 1 foot down, growing those roots. Again, even deeper, even wider. We can't get deep and wide enough with those roots. And then draw that energy up the body that we've been practicing, pulling that energy up through the root, up, all the way up into the heart, all the way up into the crown, right? Feel that connection. And next time you take that inhale, float that opposite knee up, flex the foot, and then exhale, take it out to the side. And inviting you to really see that you can activate the back of the hip. So activate the glute with that external rotation. So this is external rotation is opening. And then we're just going to place the sole of the foot on the inner leg somewhere. So calf is fine. You might find that you can get up to the inner thigh. You might find you land on the knee, which is okay, but please don't press too hard. If you're above or below the knee, you can do a counter pressure where you press leg into foot and foot into leg, which can help with stability as well. Okay, so bringing the hands into the heart, Press the thumbs into the heart here and really lift the heart into the thumbs as you settle the shoulders down. And breath is so important in balancing posture, right? So another alternative, toes could be resting on the earth. So connect to your breath, connect to that line of energy moving up and down the body, connect to your pillar of light, and just focus on your breathing, focus on a gaze point that is not moving in the distance. And then on your inhale, you can reach the fingers up towards the sky and come into your expression of tree. And I love playing in tree pose. It just feels really fun, maybe because I love trees so much. But I also love teaching kids tree pose because they get really cool and funky and creative with it. So inviting you to do the same. I like to imagine that I'm a tree on a windy day a lot of the time, and I will draw the infinity symbols with my fingers, and it just feels really, really good. And then as I was practicing this, I also was receiving like the kind of divine guidance and downloads that drawing infinity symbols like this really does help to activate certain aspects of our DNA that may be a little bit latent that are ready to come online. And so you can imagine that you're coding in your energy field for your next level, essentially. Coding in anything that you are ready to receive. And here inviting you to really anchor that in now. So let's gather the energy of source now that our tree is receiving, bring it down the midline and anchoring it into the earth here. Okay, just bringing the hands back to the heart. You can inhale to release the foot and take the knee forward and then plant that foot down. And we'll shift to the other side. So for me, that was my harder foot. I chose to go outside my box a little bit today. All right, so we're gonna move to the other foot. No matter where you started, it's a-okay. Spreading those toes nice and wide. Here is another extra little something you can bring in. And I should have mentioned too, like a little soft bend in that knee. That standing knee doesn't need to be locked out, nor should it be. Using your inhale to lift the opposite knee, flex that foot. So lift those toes to the sky a little bit. Open on the exhale, squeeze into that glute, really activate the hips here. And then place that foot wherever it's going, taking care not to press on the knee too hard. Breathe your line of connection. See yourself as any kind of tree or even anything in nature that you want to be planted as today. And see yourself as well planting any intentions, planting any intentions around how you want to feel or anything specifically you're wanting to call into your life, to experience. And when you feel ready, you can grow your branches. Opening up, coming into your version, your expression. And again, like there's certain movements that I just come naturally into these days, and I just go with it. And I encourage you to do the same. Like anything that we're doing here, where you're feeling like you want to do it a little bit differently, or you've practiced it differently and you'd like to do that, that is totally fine. Okay, we're just holding and opening this space to get into our body and have a little fun. Certainly not to be taken too seriously. Doing whatever feels good to play here, and then taking the arms back up, bringing them back down to the heart. As you inhale, release the foot, and exhale, take it forward and down. Planting yourself here again, closing down the eyes, just checking in. Checking in with how you're feeling now compared to how you were feeling at the beginning of your practice. And now we're going to take ourselves down to the floor for a little bit more of a restful experience. So inviting you, just going to check and make sure everything's still running here. Okay, inviting you down to the floor, coming onto your back, rolling yourself all the way down. And I just looked at our time and I'm a little bit further along than I thought I was going to be. Surprise, surprise. So just letting you know, we've got about 20 minutes left here. If that, just so you know if you have to pop off or anything. So first thing we're going to do is just pull both knees in towards the chest, rock from side to side. Really feel the low back on the floor. See if you can draw your lower spine kind of out from under you and towards the bottom of your mat. And settle back in center, hold the right knee in, hugging it in towards the low belly and chest as you extend the left. And let that left leg be long and strong, pressing into the floor. Taking nice deep breaths here. And as you exhale, see if you can release any tension in your face, in your jaw, in your throat, in your shoulders, just melting it away. Staying strong and connected in the lower body. And we're coming through a half happy baby here. So we'll point the sole of the foot to the sky. Hand comes to the back of the knee as we draw that knee out towards the side ribs a little bit. And you can stay here at the back of the knee or work the hand up to the calf or maybe even the pinky toe side of the foot, allowing the elbow to come to the inside of that knee. And just taking a nice deep hip opener here if that feels okay for you today. Really anchoring that straight leg here. If it felt better to bend that leg, you could, because we're going to bend it in a minute anyway, but option to have it straight or bent for the moment. Then when you feel ready, if you haven't already, please bend that leg. And if you, depending on what side you're on, I don't know, because I don't think I said right or left, but anyway, bend that leg, place the sole of the foot on the floor, and then cross that ankle over the knee. And thread the needle here. We are now lifting that foot off the floor and reaching the arms through to hold on to the back of that opposite leg. And then perhaps rocking from side to side. So hip opening sequence here, friends. We hold so much tension and emotion and stuff not just from our life, of course, but from our lineage, stuff from the collective programming, around our sexuality and our safety to be sensually connected in our experience or connected to our sensual self in our experience. And really that's our creative energy, our creative life force, right? So the hips can hold a lot. There's gonna be a lot going on there. So just feeling into and breathing moreover into the resistance that we come up against, that edge that we come up against, and seeing if we can send it through the tailbone. I like to imagine I'm filtering anything out from my hip area in general, from that root sacral, and even solar plexus area, those lower energy centers, just filtering it out through my root. I imagine it as my kind of tailbone connection, even though that's a little bit more sacral, kind of in between, but that general area, just sending it into the earth. And then as you feel ready, we'll just switch on over to the other side. Oh, not yet though. In a minute, we'll switch to the other side. One more thing here. Sorry, friends. Cross that right knee over the left, coming into a gentle twist here. I'm just going to lift the hips up and bring, now I'm saying sides. Now I'm saying right and left. Wherever you are, the leg that's crossing over, you're going to be lifting the hips and taking them over in that direction. So if I've got my right hip on, or my right leg on top, I'm going to take my hips to the right a little bit, or vice versa. And then I'm going to come into a gentle twist here. And so if this was a lot, you could totally go stacked with the knees, which would be a little bit less intense of a twist, or you could just take it easy and just like gently cross one leg over the other. But what I just invite you to do is wherever you land to really breathe in particular to the ribs on the side of the body that you've got that top leg. Okay, that same side of the body, the side that's opening up, breathe into the ribs. And breathe into the shoulder, right? So you've got a nice shoulder stretch here. Breathe into the hips. Where are you feeling what's ready to shift in terms of any tension in your body? Right, so just breathing and being here. And relaxing into this position. Imagine you're bringing out any last little bit of tension, any last little bit of any stagnant energy is ready to move. And we're going to take your inhale, using the hands as a guide and support here if needed to come back to center. And I really encourage the people that I practice with to take a moment here. And as they notice the difference from one side to the other once they've done that sequence, because for me, it's pretty profound, like how much space we can create And it feels to me like when we can, when we can really notice the difference, notice the benefit, we are, and really like anchor that in, we're more likely to do it, right? So let's switch to the other side. We're hugging that left. I'm hugging the left knee in now. Sorry for the lack of direction on our rights and lefts. I feel like I was just intending to let everyone flow and go where they needed to go first. But obviously, your opposite side is best. Opposite to even things out. And again, really lengthen and strengthen that supporting leg that you are not holding on to. Some nice deep breaths. You'll get a nice little hip flexor opener on that side as well, possibly. And then as we come through our half happy baby on this side, again, hand comes to the back of the knee to guide that knee out, and then we can take the hand up as far as it goes, connect somewhere. And then elbow can come to the inner knee. I'm just taking some nice deep breaths here. And again, if this for some reason was uncomfortable for you, or if you happen to watch this and anything that we've done, you feel like you need a modification or an option, please reach out. I'd be happy to help you with that. Okay, so let's bring that opposite foot to the ground to cross over into this part of the hip opener. So the figure four stretch here. And that leg that we've got crossed, if we could flex that foot just a little bit to take care of the knees, that is great. And again, I tend to find myself wanting to come into a little bit of movement here these days. So inviting you to stay in stillness and or just rock gently from side to side. And you're just gently pulling on that leg to produce this beautiful external rotation at the hip. Relaxing the upper body. Noticing if there's any tension in the face or jaw, softening. And then lowering that foot down. And then the last one here, crossing the knees, lifting the hips and taking them over to one side of the mat slightly. I mean, this part's not necessary, but I just find it feels a lot better for me. So you can explore that. Same thing here. You might be going with stacked knees, or you might go with a more gentle cross of the legs. Again, if this felt like too much and it wasn't comfortable for you to get your body to the floor for that support, you could place some pillows or blanket under there for future reference. So just finding your way here. Those arms can reach out with palms up or down. I really like to encourage people to play with the practice and see what feels better. Down is a little bit more grounding. Open is a little more receptive, right? All things I meant to talk about in the beginning, but kind of forgot about because I was a little nervous. That's okay. Breathing into that sticky space. I like to imagine I can breathe light into those spaces and that the light can dissolve that resistance, right? So like you could almost melt it. A visual came to me once of like a melting snowman, how the sun, the warmth of the sun melts the snowman. I just love that idea of like how the beautiful light source coming into our body can help to dissolve that heaviness. Untangle us, the healing frequencies and helping with that as well. Untangle us from those energies that we don't need anymore. Okay, so gently uncrossing and guiding yourself back to center here. Straighten the legs again, friends. Just see how this feels. See if you've evened out from side to side. And then just inviting you into a little hip bridge here, just to release the front of the hips. So arms alongside the body, feet are hip width apart. Taking a nice deep inhale, and then just as you exhale, pulling that low belly in, the pelvis tips towards you, and pressing into the feet. Lift the hips as high as we can, and this also opens the heart up nicely as well. If you want to go a little deeper here, you can lift the shoulders up and interlock the fingers as you squeeze the shoulder blades underneath the body. Just a little flexor opener, a little activation for the core. Then release the arms if you had them connected, and lower that spine down from top to bottom, nice and slow. Nice and slow, all the way down. And then from here, we are going to just straighten the legs, and we have finished our movement practice for today. And I'm inviting you to just come to stillness to receive in a brief guided meditation. So I'll be coming up to sit. You are welcome to stay laying down, as I mentioned. If for some reason you prefer to sit up, that is completely fine. So wherever you are, just seeing yourself again through your pillar of light. And I cannot emphasize, grab a drink of water here, how much doing that hands-on energy clearing practice that we shared, as well as just like consciously connecting, consciously grounding, consciously opening my heart, our hearts, has been such a game changer in my life. And I just really like, I am not the person that gets on my mat for an hour, you guys. I'm not that person. I am the person that like does 10 minutes of yoga in the kitchen while I'm making supper, or like meditates for 2 minutes in the car while I'm waiting for my kids. And it makes such a difference. So again, I really encourage you to take these snippets of this, the entirety of this practice, and bring those into your life, or find things that work for you. If you need extra support with that, reach out to me as well. I've got lots of tools to share. Okay, so coming into your stillness, feeling yourself. So supported here, so supported. This is the space, the time where you get to soak up all the benefits of everything that you've just done. You get to really relax into the experience and open your heart to receive what's available for you. Get to notice if there was any mind chatter that came up through that practice, or anything that felt hard or challenging that you were creating any stories around. Perhaps now you get to let go. Remember that this is all a practice. Life is a practice. We are at Earth School. That's what one of my friends always calls it. And so whether we're on our mat, whether we're in practice, like intentionally, or whether it comes up unintentionally, where something happens in our life and we get to pull from our toolbox to help to guide ourselves and support ourselves through, it's all part of the experience, right? And more often it's going to be the latter. It's going to be when we find ourselves challenged, triggered, or just unsure what to do next. We're coming back to our heart, coming back to ourselves, and what is really important and true for us, getting to know what is important and true for us. It requires us to take this space. So as you breathe, just inviting you to relax even more, seeing the beautiful light of source flowing down through you, softening the crown of your head, feeling all of your hair follicles relax. Just breathing this energy down as it softens the forehead and the cheeks and the eyes. It softens the area, the center of your head, and in your ears and in your throat. Feel the back of your head relaxing into the earth and all sides of the neck, softening as well. You might want to swallow to release tension in the throat, or open and close the jaw. Feel this beautiful, warm, soothing energy coming down into the shoulders. You may feel like you want to lift the shoulders up slightly, tucking the shoulder blades down, and then just relaxing them down away from the ears. Feeling this energy move down into the heart, softening, opening, and activating the space. Feeling the chest and back relax. As this energy flows again down those arms and into the hands, fingers and thumbs, maybe feeling them activated even more. Feel this energy softening down through the ribs, into the belly and low back, and into the hips. I love to feel the pelvic bowl filling up with this beautiful, nurturing light. This nourishing and cleansing and clarifying energy moving down through the legs. Softening any tension in the hips along the way, just relaxing the glutes as well. And as it flows down the thighs, moving into the knees and into the shins and calves, into the ankles and the feet and the toes. And just breathing at your perfect pace and receiving at your perfect pace and allowing this beautiful waterfall of light to continue to cleanse and purify your energy field, knowing that your practice has helped to initiate this process today. It's helped to really shake up so much, to clear so much. And now we're going even deeper. We allow ourselves to rest fully and receive. And seeing as this waterfall of light clears and cleanses, so too does this energy come behind to fill up any space that's being created. Fill up your entire vessel, every single little cell, with the frequency of pure, unconditional love, of divine light, activating and remembering in your heart of your true nature as divine. Beautiful, unique soul, here having your individual experience, but also here to connect. And seeing through your heart that connection now to our beautiful circle here. Seeing your heart opening and expanding. And imagining that you could allow your energy to get so big, this energy of your heart in particular to get so big that it fills the entire room that you are in. Remembering your heart as the center of the bridge that you are between heaven and earth. Allowing those energies again to completely fill your body, to fill your energy field, to fill the room that you are in, to fill the building, the house that you are in. Giving so much gratitude for yourself for taking this time for you today as that energy expands to fill your entire community, your entire province and country, and the whole entire world. And seeing through that expansion, these beautiful, special connections with those that are in the circle today, the energies of our hearts linking up, already connected through our humanity and through the quantum realm of all possibilities, but being more deeply anchored and activated now. Breathing into that, seeing our collective energy amplify, and seeing it as dancing in such a beautiful expression of pure divinity through our human bodies. Through this human experience. Just breathing into that, maybe even connecting to the color green through your heart and deepening that awareness of the harmonizing frequencies of the nature that is all around us, reflecting back to us our true nature, reminding us of our connection, and letting us know that this quote unquote spiritual aspect of ourselves is most easily, readily, and intentionally accessed through our awareness of self, of our bodies, and of our environment, and how we are feeling in relation to all of it. Just breathing into whatever you are feeling right now. If it feels heavy in any way, just releasing through the exhales, knowing that Mama Gaia will take that. She will recycle it. knowing that the light of source will take that and will recycle it. It's all energy and we get to recycle it into support for our highest intentions for ourselves and humanity. It feels really good. Hopefully it does. Just keep expanding that and simultaneously anchoring it in your roots of connection to the here and now. And just breathing here for a minute or two in silence and allowing yourself to connect with your unique soul and any messages that it has for you today. Whatever is present for you, whether it's clear or not, just knowing that you have received exactly what you're ready to receive. Just allowing yourself to rest in that knowing that you are exactly where you're meant to be. You are so divinely guided, supported, and protected. And if anything that you have found here that has served you is intended to be taken with you into your everyday life to be shared with all. Just beginning to move back gently into your body, deepening your breath, feeling your breath moving, feeling your body gently shifting with it, feeling the connection of the body to the earth. Feeling the space around you and the sounds close by or far away. To come all the way back. And all the way back to this present moment. This beautiful moment of now. Coming all the way back. Welcome back. And welcome back. Welcome back. And if you feel ready, feel free to take a stretch, reaching your arms overhead, wiggling your fingers and toes, rolling your wrists and ankles. You feel your way all the way back into your body, grounding back here and now, the beautiful magic of this present moment. So much gratitude for yourself for taking this time. Extending my gratitude to you for coming into practice with me today, celebrating you for being here, for showing up for yourself, and thanking you for your light and connection. Allow us to finish by saying to ourselves and each other, Namaste. Inviting you to stay here, relaxing as long as you like, or coming to a seated position to join us to close.
Thank you so much, Becca. That was beautiful and exactly what I needed today.
Oh, yay. You're so
I, when you mentioned earlier about we were doing something where we were moving and kind of dancing the energy around, and you were talking about how you've set this intention for yourself to dance 10 minutes a day. And then that is like this one thing that you've found that is the most fun, freeing like experience to move your body. And I really struggle with staying in a routine with moving my body. Like I have been doing my sadhana, my spiritual practice every single day for a year. And sometimes I spend 3 hours in the morning in the depths of my spiritual practice. And the only space that gets me continuously moving my body is dance. And not even, sometimes it's just that kind of dance where there's soft music and I'm just moving my body around in ways where maybe I've always been nervous to do in front of somebody, where I broke through that last year and now I don't care what recording I'm on and how I'm moving my body. But I just like when you said that it was just this remembrance of like, oh, just go back to the dance, Robin. You don't have to like do CrossFit or something in the morning that does not light you up just because that's a fitness thing. Like just go back to the dancing, and the way you can flow energy through dancing can be, I think, just as powerful as throwing weights around in the gym. So thank you for that beautiful reminder and helping me anchor back into my body today.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that. Yeah, I relate. I'm like, I can sit in stillness all day long. It is fun. I can do that. And yeah. Does not help me feel as grounded as moving does though. And if you can get outside and like, and again, you mentioned like kind of being like self-conscious of people seeing you. I like live pretty in the country, like nobody's looking in my backyard. So I'll go outside and do it sometimes. My kids are like, what are you doing? And I'm like, whatever, I'm dancing. Leave
Oh
me
my
alone.
gosh,
So my
that's
youngest,
that's
he's still
my
young
favorite.
enough.
You
Okay.
just posted a post yesterday, I think it was, of you dancing with like words over it. You're like
Yeah.
spinning around, and
Oh
that,
yes, yeah.
that's like my favorite space to do my sadhana practices, in our backyard with my feet in the grass. And I don't care who hears me chanting and singing, and my neighbors probably all think I'm crazy because I don't live somewhere where there aren't neighbors. But I don't care. I'll be that crazy neighbor because my backyard's like my sanctuary, because we live in the city, so there isn't somewhere like beautiful in nature that I can go to that's really close by except my backyard. So yeah. And I think that practice of breaking through the densities of caring what others think, because you realize it's really you caring what you think. But when you break through that, the silliness, the play, the lightness that can come from dancing is like even very healing to the inner child. And I think multifaceted in how it can help us move those densities around.
Definitely. Yeah. It's funny, like how when we're kids, we don't like, I always just kind of question like at what point we become self-conscious like that, because like kids don't have that. Like my kids will, I think because of the example perhaps that I am, because I'm kind of always dancing and singing. And like I grew up in a house where my mom was like, for example, told when she was young that she couldn't sing. She was like so bad. And then she all went through her whole life. And she was just like, her story was always, I can't sing. I can't sing. I would never try and sing. And now I'm like, okay, that's not true, obviously. And I do like, I'll sing on purpose, like all the time in front of my kids. And they're always just like, wow, you're a really good singer, mom. And I'm not a really good singer, but, but then they all sing. Like my oldest, like that is one of his like, regulating tools. I've noticed now he just like, he loves to sing and hum and whatever. And I don't know if he does it around his friends, but he does it around me. And I love that he just like feels safe, even at his cool age of 11 to like.
Yeah. Well, it's powerful. It's your own frequency technology within you to use your voice. Right? We're creating different tones, different frequencies that can really shift us. We don't have to just listen to the music. We can create the music and those vibrational frequencies from our throat chakra.
Yeah.
Powerful. Does anybody else, Jen or Jacqueline, want to jump on and share feedback with Becca really quick before we round this out?
I'm fortunate enough to be in Becca's live classes. So, I mean, I kind of knew what to expect, but it was really good for me actually, because sometimes in class I don't free move dance as much, and I found I opened up a lot more here.
Nice.
But I think I just need those steps to get there though too, right? So it was really good. Yes, thank you.
Beautiful.
Thank you so much for coming. So
Yeah,
nice.
wonderful to have you. All right, everyone, thank you so much for coming live with us, and for anyone who watches the recording. We'll be sure to put Becca's information of where you can find her linked in the show notes as well. So you can find her on social media and on any other platform that she's available on. We'll link it all there for you guys. Thank you again, Becca, for hosting this for our community today. It was just wonderful to receive from you.
Yay. Thank you so much for having me. It was so much fun. And yeah, I'm back in July to guide
Yes,
Shamana.
I can't wait. Cannot wait.
Yay.
All right, everyone, take care.
So much. Talk to you later.